Pressure and go drop it and go lick you now your soul. Well, if you can't hear, then you know you won't go feel. Pressure drop it and go lick you up and turn like a wheel. It is you. Oh yeah. It is you. Oh yeah. I say pressure drop. Oh pressure. Oh yeah. Pressure's gonna drop on you. I say pressure drop. Oh pressure, oh yeah, pressure's gonna drop on you.
And boom, we're live.
What's up?
What's
it sounded
up?
suddenly like pressure when you said it's live.
Is it
I was
pressure?
chilling here for a minute.
I should take.
Hey yo, Jim, man, won't you kick some of that? You know how you do it, man. It's a trip. People don't even believe we're together right now. But tell your story. You know the one I like. Say it for me.
Okay. Okay, back to you.
All right, well, there goes Jim. Well, listen, Daniel, I really admire your work, so I'm super excited about talking to you in the morning.
On the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah.
Going off of this, going off of that. With the Lizard King bumping in the back. How about that? Drifting, lifting, swifting, coasting, testing, roasting. But the wheels won't stop. 200 on the highway, fresh up off the block. He's a rider, nah, he's a killer. Dressed in all black, but his hat says Stella. Pedal to the metal. I gotta go hard, drive by and say hello. Hey, Fred Wreck, you my mellow. Now let me hear what I sound like a cappella. Roll, ride, dip, sweat. Now bring it back, just like this. Like a dog without his bone. I like a G without his chrome. It's hard to imagine the homie dog in the jag, and he checking for the checkered flag. Coming in first, never in last. Cause my car too fast. I never ever run out of gas. Cause I'm just too clean, I do it upper class. So fast in your seatbelts, it's so hot, it'll even make heat melt. So get aboard and roll and ride, slip through the storm.
Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah.
I'm trying to take the lead. Hold on, little homie, for you run into them trees. I see things that I never would've saw before. Hey, yo, Jim, let him in, let him in. Open up, my back tire smoking up the whole street. And now the police wanna flash their lights and chase the dog all night. But I won't pull over, nor give up, cause I just don't give up. Yeah, I'm from the side, boy, where we was born and raised. Straight up to ride, boys, continuously. We get to it expeditiously. We keep the light on, east side on, Snoop Dogg in the doors, and yeah, we about to ride on.
Riders Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan. Riders on the storm. 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 And let's ride.
Get that idea. No, they get that idea from the Marines, from the military, because that's what they're taught. They're like, we are America, this is what it's about.
Feel good.
Bill Hicks wants to kill. Dressed in all black, but his hat says still.
And this man is going to help him. You're on a mission. You're on a comedy mission.
He's a rider, nah, he's a killer. Dressed in all black, but his hat says still. He's a rider, nah, he's a killer. Dressed in all black, but his hat says still.
It's a very precarious road to go down to try to make a point, and I think Bill probably did it better than anybody. I think personally, in my opinion, he did that kind of comedy better than anybody.
Well, they looked at it as what's the best way to get people to listen to us. What's the best way to get people to do the impossible, to do the unthinkable? You tell them that that's what they're supposed to do. We have to figure out what the best way to program them is, and they figured it out. They nailed it. They got it down. That pride, that fucking esprit de corps. Yeah, that feeling they put it. I mean, the training sequences in Full Metal Jacket.
But you know what? It's not just that, because the lesson to be learned here is that it's everybody who waves the American flag, the nationalism that's imbued in all of us. It's the same thing to a lesser degree, but it's still a perversion of humanity. It's still a perversion of the way human beings are designed to get along.
Right. I agree. I think the idea of being American should be an ideal. It should be an idea that we have in our head. It should be we should look at being American as something we should aspire to. But the idea that somehow or another we're against them or they're against us, like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? We don't even know them. You
that's
can have
what it is
pride.
to me, and it's not about the arbitrary lines set up by government around us, or it's the American heritage, the American tradition of moving towards greater freedom, and the step that represented. The whole Revolutionary War is a step forward in the human understanding of liberty. But it's an idea that's global. It's essential to the human nature. It doesn't, and now we see that America, as defined by any specific thing other than that, is, let's be honest, kind of fucking disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. Scary. And America should be what we can contribute. What is our potential? Our potential to contribute is so much greater. America's not the military-industrial complex. We have a very distinct and intense form of nationalism because we're such a war culture. I I mean, we don't want to think of ourselves as that. We like to think of ourselves as educated, enlightened people. But as a collective, if we really are accepting the fact that we move as a group, damn, we're doing some shitty things.
You know what, though? I don't think anyone is
thinking about
honestly that. Even that's the thing. They're not even looking at everybody who's looking at it like you are, with an honest eye, can see through all that, and it's the result. It's the result of people not even thinking. Because as soon as you think on that level, you want to change it. And really, that's what this movement that we think of ourselves right now as a part of the Lovolution. That's really our objective.
Do you think that in the past they were able to get things off much easier, so they have this sort of pattern of behavior and the way they do business as far as how we go to war, like the Gulf of Tonkin type shit, where they could get away with stuff like that in the past, but today with this sort of the same group are basically in charge. I mean, they've evolved somewhat, but I mean, there's photos of Rumsfeld shaking hands with Saddam Hussein. I mean, it's from a long time ago. Was it the Reagan administration? Is that what it was from?
It was during the Iran-Iraq war when we were supporting Iraq.
Yeah, at the top of the ladder, it really is a bunch of old white dudes with war money. I mean, that's really what it is. Like when you look at the people that run Halliburton, you look at Dick Cheney, you look at, there's old white dudes with war money. I mean, they're in the business of war. I mean, if you look at the percentage of the income that Halliburton, how much they profit off of war, that's a staggering number.
As disgusting as that war money is for Halliburton, what it's really about is the bankster money. It's about the money that goes through the financial system that flows faster for war. It's in the 21st century, with the historical perspective that we have, is war just not fucking embarrassing at this point?
Yeah, it should be. What's fascinating to me is this thing that's going on in Pakistan. If that isn't racist, I don't know what is. This flying of drones that shoot missiles and blow up citizens.
It's cowardly. Obama's a fucking murderer.
It's ridiculous. The idea that we just accept it. I believe you that there's some bad Taliban guys out there that want to commit terrible things, and we need to get to them. But you need to be a little bit more accurate, bitch. Imagine if they were using those things in Germany or Japan or anywhere that we're allies with, and it caused this kind of damage. But the fact that it's happening in Pakistan,
it's brown people on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, what are they doing? They lost a donkey, Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these poor fucks. They look at them like they're living a shit life anyway.
Well, it's one of the things that they have done recently in with the Taliban. They've said that they're going to stop administering polio vaccines if they don't stop the drone strikes, because the PTSD that they are causing in the population is worse than having fucking polio. I mean, how sick is this? But I got a quote here. This is Anwar al-Awlaki, the New Mexico-born man that was killed in Yemen by a drone strike ordered by Obama. His 16-year-old son was also murdered the same way a week later. You probably heard that story. Abdul Rahman al-Awlaki. And he was made out to be the great propagandist for Al-Qaeda. This is the quote from him. Our position needs to be reiterated and needs to be very clear. The fact that the U.S. has administered the death and homicide of over 1 million civilians in Iraq, the fact that the United States is supporting the deaths of killing of thousands of Palestinians does not justify the killing of one U.S. civilian in New York City or Washington, D.C., and the deaths of 6,000 civilians in New York and Washington, D.C. does not justify the death of one civilian in Afghanistan.
That doesn't sound like a terrorist. That sounds like a guy who's making sense.
No shit. That's why I'm kind of afraid to be in this line of work myself.
Yeah, it's a creepy line of work when they can just label you. I mean, no one wants to look at it from this side that perhaps the United States has done some heinous things. There's a reason why these people want to do something to us. And there we go, us. To the citizens of this great nation.
But you know what? In a way, they're smarter than us, because our reaction culturally is dehumanization. It's an implicit racism. For us, they're smarter. They want to. They actually come at it strategically. Like, they want to change our behavior. They want us to stop bombing them. And maybe they're not. I'm not endorsing terrorism, obviously, but if anything, their anger is much more aware and directed at the U.S. government.
Well, my whole position is that we're not innocent.
Yes. 3 people were killed yesterday, dozens wounded in a horrific attack on the Boston Marathon. But let me put this in perspective just for a second here to help you really appreciate the scope and significance of this tragedy, which you're more than welcome to cry about. You can care about it. You can invest your emotional energy in this, like a child told when to cry, like an emotionally stunted imbecile, easily manipulated. But let me just throw some numbers at you. Things that if you care, because this is a big deal. I mean, 3 people died. That's 3 times one person. That's three, and it was an American. 3 Americans, at least we think. It's like three of you. That's you. Oh my gosh, if you identify as an American, you have to feel some connectedness to this because you're a patriot and you love this country, right? Well, in Iraq, from the end of the first Gulf War to the start of the current occupation in 2003, sanctions on the country led to the deaths, conservatively estimated, of 500,000 Iraqi children from lack of access to adequate nutrition and medical supplies. That's 50,000 per year. That's 137 per day. That's like 45 Boston massacres per day in Iraq for a decade.
Look, you get my face.
I like that though. Let's back up.
Get back. Jerry, get back. I don't like yours. You got him. You got this. Okay, you wait. Hey, what you about to do, boy? Going to house of where you was at? At the don't say a name, please. I wish I would have bought because I'm sick of her from the bed. I feel sexy. That's a little right. That's when we went to the wall story. Yeah. No, that's like Gucci Man. No, that was me and you, Gucci Man. That was me. Oh, yeah. That's why I remember. Over there, there's your prego. Oh, yeah, you don't remember.
Hey, now come on this side too, though. Hey, Keith. But she right. I never changed. Yeah. I hit the sun one time for doing the work. This video. Oh, this video.
I don't want somebody to put your damn YouTube now. Yeah, they're going all over the world. Go, Precious. Okay. Hey. That's why you spitting and stuff. Your ass gonna be sick. Yeah, son. Yeah, but it's not dark enough for the big fireworks. Come here. Here we go! Yeah! You can do all that. Pick up the lighter.